Our story starts with a rented garage, a filmmaker, and a script inspired by Dexter, a TV character who hides a deadly secret life. But what happened inside wasn't fiction. It was a trap meticulously staged, and someone walked right into it. This is the twisted true story of the Dexter Killer.
If you love art with a touch of mystery, you are in the right place. Welcome to Mrs. Arty. Mr. Arty is here to take you deep into today's case. And if you wish to discover the connection between the painting and the story, please watch till the end. For now, here's the hint. The Silence of the Lambs.
And if this descent into darkness left you unsettled, give the like button a chilling nod and subscribe to join us on more true crime journeys. And now, back to the story. In Edmonton, a passionate filmmaker who was hungry to break into Hollywood rented a garage to shoot a horror short film. He covered the walls in translucent plastic sheeting, arranged steel tables, and gathered an array of tools, knives, ropes, even a steel drum. The air was silent. One could only hear the drip of water down the walls. Patiently, he waited for his actors to arrive. On a rainy evening in October 2008, 38-year-old John Brian Altinger opened his computer in his apartment in White Rock, British Columbia. Altinger lived alone, and often, when he felt lonely, he'd visit dating websites for company. He logged onto a popular dating website called Plenty of Fish. Immediately, he got a pleasant surprise. Several messages from a woman named Sheena, whom he'd been chatting with for the past few days. Sheena invited him to her apartment. It was more than Altinger had hoped for. He gladly accepted. That night, he called his friends, told them he had a date with a hot woman, and left for the address Sheena had given him. Meanwhile, the filmmaker was pacing inside the garage, waiting for the actors in his twisted script to arrive. Finally, he heard a knock. He picked up a heavy object in one hand and a knife in the other. When he opened the door, there stood Altinger, bouquet of flowers in his hand. Expecting Sheena, Altinger was shocked to see a man holding weapons. The filmmaker didn't hesitate. He struck Altinger with a fatal blow, then stabbed him multiple times. With surgeon-like precision, he dissected the body and placed the parts in a steel drum, like a scene from a horror film. He tried to burn the evidence inside the drum, but the fire sputtered. Frustrated, he loaded the remains into garbage bags and drove them to a storm sewer nearby. In his mind, the filmmaker had just completed his masterpiece. The next morning, Altinger's friends received a strange email. Apparently, he had flown to Costa Rica with a woman he had just met and quit his job. Suspicious, they contacted the police. The investigators followed digital breadcrumbs, which led to the rented garage. Inside, detectives followed a trail of blood spatters and a digital footprint straight to the filmmaker's home. On Halloween night, undercover officers posing as investors entered the filmmaker's house. Inside his computer, police discovered a chilling document titled SK Confessions, which is short for Serial Killer Confessions. It began with, "This story is based on true events. The names and events were altered slightly to protect the guilty. This is the story of my progression into becoming a serial killer." Our filmmaker's name was Mark Twitchell. The file revealed Twitchell was a huge fan of Dexter, the fictional vigilante serial killer. He wrote, "You do it like Dexter because Dexter shows you how to do it all the time." According to friends and investigators, Twitchell lived in a fantasy world, constructing scenes, costumes, and personas like a theatrical ritual. In April 2011, just after 5 hours of jury deliberation, Mark Twitchell was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole for 25 years. He continued to claim it was all a publicity stunt gone wrong, just a self-defense scenario taken too far. But investigators and journalists alike dismissed the excuse as implausible. At the bottom left corner of the painting, you can see a death's head hawkmoth. This species has been historically related to death. It also bears a skull-like pattern on its thorax. It appeared in the poster of the famous movie, The Silence of the Lambs. His case became internationally known as the Dexter murder, raising chilling questions about the influence of fiction on real-life violence. It's a haunting reminder of how obsession can spiral into horror, a story of creative ambition corrupted by dark fantasy.